Today, it makes sense to be on social media and be educating consumers about this tool that can really protect them.
Was this like around the time where if you had a pulse, you got a loan?
It was prior to that. And it's a needed product within the market space.
Yes.
So I like that about it. It serves a really important need. It's a valuable service within the construction space. And from a consumer standpoint, oh my gosh, it's a needed product.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Elite Zone podcast, where we sit down, we talk with marketers, we talk with real estate agents, business owners, entrepreneurs, innovators, yada, 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 because we want to deliver as much value as possible for you agents and lenders and business owners out there that are trying to maximize profit, be better marketers, create better content, hack mindset, just learn how to operate better and be happier. That's important as well. I'm your host, Max Bergstrom, and today I've got the one, the only Marcus Carter from Mesa Fund Control and Escrow. Marcus, great to have you here today. How are you, man?
Oh, Max, doing great. So happy to be on your show today. Thanks for having me, and look forward to this. So
absolutely. Now, you just got back from Austin, Texas, yeah?
I sure did. Yeah, we were out at the NPLA conference out in Austin, Texas, with really a host of a lot of institutional private money players out there, and it was a great event.
Nice.
Yeah.
So private money, that sounds I don't know as much about private money as I probably should. Yeah. But most of the time when I have somebody on the show, it's like an agent or a lender or their marketers. So it's cool to have you here because you're in, like escrow, fund control, and you can help homeowners, but also, bankers, lenders, et cetera, with construction on homes, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we don't do that at La Mesa. What we do is we are a service provider for lenders that are providing some type of construction lending product. So whether it be lenders that are providing fix and flip loans,
yep,
or ground up construction loans, or SBA product, or any type of loan that has a construction component.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
that's really the space that we live in,
right.
And we're a risk management provider for those lenders in that space.
Excellent. Now, I know that you are very good at what you do and you're a hell of a business owner, but I would gather that when you were little, you probably didn't want to be the owner of a fund control and escrow business. So how in the hell did you get to where you are right now? Like what's the trajectory? I'm out, like when I was a kid, I wanted to be Superman, you know what I mean? And, different people want different things, but it's always fascinating to me to learn how people get where they are. So tell me a little bit about, where you grew up and how did you get here?
Yeah, great question. So Max, I had a grandfather who was self-employed, ran a hardwood flooring business. My dad was self-employed, ran an import-export business for plates. And so, and my grandfather on my dad's side was also self-employed. He was a contractor. And so I grew up in this household that I was surrounded by these men who were very influential in my life that were all self-made.
Yep.
They were all self-made. They didn't work for anybody. And so I grew up with this mindset that, gosh, I just wanted to own my own business. I wanted to be kind of self-made and I wanted to run my own business. I didn't want to work for anybody. So all throughout high school, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do. Even in college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I kind of figured that I would never be working for somebody for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
Yep. So that was the big thing. And, I'm in the same boat. I worked a number of corporate marketing jobs, and there was, I can remember it. I was on a meeting with like the new CMO, and they told me like that, I was like, my communication wasn't professional because I gave an opinion about something that, perhaps they disagreed with.
Sure.
And I remember like I got off and I was like, I was like, I'm so sorry and all this kind of stuff. And then I went and I talked, with my girlfriend about it. And I'm like, I just had this experience. Like, I feel really icky. And she's like, you know what? Fuck this. Just quit. Like, I'll help you with finances.
Yes.
But you've been scaling this business on the side. You're miserable doing this corporate thing. And I spoke with my AA sponsor about this, and he's like, you may have just gotten to a position where you can't work for anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max, I think that what ends up happening in the corporate world is you get forced into these boxes. And these boxes, if you're an entrepreneurial guy and you don't fit into those boxes, or you just don't want to conform to those boxes, you look at this corporate structure and you go, yeah, that doesn't work for me. I don't really want to conform to what they're telling me I have to conform to.
Yep.
And I felt the very same way.
Yep.
I did the same exact thing. After college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to make money.
Yeah.
And so I actually got into lending.
Yep.
And, my sister was working in lending up in Orange County, and I'd graduated from school down here in San Diego, went to USD. And she said, Marcus, why don't you come up here and work in this mortgage lending company and just try it? And so I thought, what the hell? What else am I going to do? My offers were like, okay, I can go to work for these companies selling life insurance to my family members. Those were some of my offers out of school. And I was like, yeah, hell no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
So this sounded really good. She said, you can make like $5,000 a month. And I went, are you kidding me?
Right.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. Let's go.
What do I need to do?
You got it.
Definitely. Okay.
So that's where I started.
Right.
So,
And was that residential? You were helping people buy homes, or was it commercial?
It was this this high LTV second trust deeds. We were writing these FHA Title I loans where homeowners could borrow $25,000 or $50,000 against their home in second position with no equity.
Yeah. So was this like around the time where if you had a pulse, you got a loan?
It was prior to that. This was sort of the precursor to the liar loans.
Gotcha.
And so this is in the late 90s, from 95, 96, 97, 98, where we were coming off of this housing crunch where the market was sort of depressed, and these lenders were looking for product, and we could do these FHA Title I loans where people could borrow $25,000 or $50,000 against their house for home improvements. So they could borrow that money strictly for home improvements and paint their house or make renovations. And it was a great product. It was an expensive product. I mean, the rates were 11, 12, 13%, but they didn't have to have any equity. They had to have decent credit, and they had to be able to make the payments.
Sure.
That's it.
And that's it.
So, yeah.
So you did that, and you did that well?
Yeah, did that well. Worked for a lender up in Orange County that was a small operation. I think I was the 13th or 14th employee, and we grew this thing over the course of 4 years to 150 people working for us, and we were doing 500 loans a month. I mean, it was just an incredible ride. So I thought, gosh, this is what I want to do. I want to have this big mortgage company. And so I left that company in 99. Times were changing, and I had an opportunity to move back to San Diego. And I did that. So I jumped on it. If I had the opportunity to come back to San Diego, who the heck doesn't want to live in San Diego?
For sure.
So I was able to come back to San Diego, started a little lending business, and then and that was decently successful. Kind of gravitated to the private money space. I really liked private money because it was entrepreneurial, and creative, and you weren't stuck in the box with the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, product line, and
uncapped,
right? Creative. You could write loans that made sense, and so really liked that space. And then in 2007, I guess leading up to that, I was writing a lot of private money construction loans. I was doing quite a bit of private money construction lending, and at the time, I was utilizing a fund control company in La Mesa, and it was La Mesa Lumber. So the lumber company that had been around for, I think they started in 1905.
Wow.
They had lumber companies in 1905, and they had this fund control business within the lumber company that was 35 or 40 years old, and they were handling all of my disbursements. So I would hire them to disperse the money and manage my fund control for my construction loans that I was writing.
Sure.
And then, so fast forward to 2007, the manager at La Mesa Lumber Fund Control called me and said, "Hey, I wanted to let you know that we're shutting down this 110-year-old lumber company. We're shutting down our fund control business." And I went, what do you mean? There's only about 5 companies in the country that do this. Like, this is such a needed business, and it's such a niche business. This is a really important product within construction lending and within construction projects and renovation. This is a really important type of business. And so I saw the need for it, Max.
Right.
And so I approached her. Within about a week, I called Grace back and I said, "Grace, let's start a fund control business."
Wow.
And so back in 2007, we started La Mesa Fund Control and Escrow.
All right, so you're coming up, what, 20 years in a couple years here.
Man, yeah, it's
That's
great.
cool. Are we all going to Vegas, or what are we doing?
Something.
Boats and hoes?
I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding. By the way, you can say whatever you want on this show. This is not, we don't censor here. So
I get it.
all right, so okay, so that's very interesting. And you know, when you talk about, there's not a lot of, it seems like that was like the idea moment. You're like, are you insane? Like, not a lot of other companies do this.
Yes.
And that brings up a good point of differentiation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you happen to fall into the niche of it. You're just naturally a differentiator because there's not a lot of competition.
Yes.
But what, in your experience in business, in lending, with real estate, with all of this kind of stuff, what is the importance of finding a differentiator between you and competition or other people, and how has that helped, aid success for you?
Yeah. So I think starting out, I think I've always been of the mindset that I don't want to do the same thing that everybody else is doing. I don't want to go work in corporate America, and I don't want to do, be in a box.
Yep.
And so naturally, I sort of gravitated to doing things that were different than the rest of the crowd. And I think, that's what led me to do private money loans. That's what led me, really what opened my eyes to fund control. No one else was doing it. It's a niche product, and it's a needed product within the market space.
Yes.
So I liked that about it. It serves a really important need. It's a valuable service within the construction space. And from a consumer standpoint, oh my gosh, it's a needed product.
Right.
So that's really what led me down that path.
Yep.
So,
yep. Yeah. And so from the real estate agent perspective, tell me a little bit, like, I know, I understand the construction loans from bankers, lenders, things like that, but tell me about the benefit to the homeowner specifically, and, why fund control specifically, not just escrow, but fund control needs to be on their radar.
Yeah, great question. It is an escrow business.
Yes.
So the key to it is there's a million escrow companies out there, and what the licensing aspect that is required to have a fund control license is very specific. So not every escrow company, in fact, virtually none of the escrow companies out there have a license to do fund control. So that's the differentiator right there. But banks have used fund control and a mechanism, which is really what fund control is a mechanism to properly disperse construction dollars for 50 years, 100 years.
Right.
They've always controlled how the money is dispersed for construction projects to, number one, to protect the integrity of that project, to make sure that a contractor doesn't abscond with the money.
Yes.
To make sure that he's only being paid for work that's actually been completed. So banks and large lenders have always recognized the need for it to control the way the money is dispersed. And so it's a very well-known product within the lending space. The interesting thing about it is not a lot of consumers know about it. So when you start talking about real estate agents and people in the lending or in the real estate world, they need to know about it.
Yes.
Because it's a great tool to protect consumers and homeowners. It's a great way to protect
an extra value add.
Absolutely.
So if I'm Joe real estate agent, and I've got, somebody that is, thinking about selling,
Yes.
but they can't afford the equity they have. They can't afford the house that they want. So they say, you know what? Never mind. We're not going to do that, but we're going to take advantage and we're going to build an ADU.
Sure.
And then we're going to rent that out and then use that money.
Yeah.
So let's say they do that and then they hire, Tom Contractor.
Sure.
And Tom Contractor comes in and there's no fund control.
Yeah.
Then what can happen?
Oh, gosh. So if you're dealing with somebody that is unscrupulous or somebody that is going to try to take advantage of a homeowner in some way, shape, or form, there's so many different negative things that can happen. Number one, and we see this all the time, a contractor asks for a sum or a large sum of money up front. They say, hey, listen, Mr. Jones, I need to get started on the project. I need to go out and buy a bunch of material.
Yep.
I need to pay my guys up front so they'll come to the project and start working.
Right.
Or we need all this money up front to draft plans and permits, and we need stuff to get started.
Sure.
So you need to write us a check for $25,000 or $30,000
Right off the bat.
right out of the blocks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, Max, a lot of homeowners fall victim to that.
Yeah.
They write the guy the check, and guess what? He ghosts them. He's gone.
Really?
Disappears.
Really?
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that story, and it's disastrous for people.
Yeah. I
Um,
suppose, even if you were going to sue them, it might cost you just as much money to take them to court as it would that you paid them. But how unethical.
sadly,
Crooks, man.
Sadly, you need to be you need to have your guard up. You need to be cautious.
Yep.
And you need to be suspicious. Sadly, in this day and age, you just need to protect yourself.
Yep.
And really, what fund control does is it offers a mechanism and a way for homeowners to protect themselves against somebody who is unscrupulous or might nefariously try to take advantage of them.
Right.
So that's really what it does.
Right, right. Okay. So, and interestingly enough, I've worked in the real estate industry and I was a director of marketing for an escrow company.
Sure.
And before I met you, I had no idea what fund control is.
You're not alone.
Right. And that, it goes to the point, and I always say this, but the general public is not a well-educated public.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you told me, when we met is you said, like, do business with me or don't, but I just want to be a resource. Like, it's about education.
Yeah.
Right. So what, how are you planning on educating people about fund control and the importance of it? And if I'm just a consumer, or I'm like, interested in a renovation or a new build or building an ADU, where do I go to find out about this stuff? Because it's literally almost non-existent.
Yeah. It's interesting, Max. The few number of companies that are in our space generally don't market their services to consumers. And partially because they're not big, gigantic behemoth companies that are offering this product line. So and we're not a gigantic company. We do business on a national basis, but at the end of the day, we've got 18 or 20 people working for us, and to market to consumers is challenging. Now, with the advent of the internet and social media and opening up these channels to where we can market our services on a broader spectrum to a wider audience and get the word out relatively inexpensively, it makes sense. So 17 years ago, that didn't make sense. Today, it makes sense to be on social media and be educating consumers about this tool that can really protect them and their money in any type of construction project. So that's where it's at.
Excellent. Why, getting the messaging out to consumers is important. I would imagine, the first scenario, you got a contractor who gets a large sum of money up front and then peace out.
Right.
So, but what about, can that happen at any point during the process, or? Absolutely.
And so one of the checks and balances in fund control are the inspections. Number one, fund control puts milestones in place so that a contractor is forced to submit draw requests or requests for money, a pay application or draw request. These are all terms you use, but he's going to request money for work that has been performed. You're never going to pay a contractor in advance. That's a bad idea. You never want to pay a contractor in advance. But to answer your question, can that happen? Can a disaster happen midstream? Absolutely.
Yeah, like, can it just halfway through
For
just
sure.
like, nope, I'm done?
Max, I've heard horror stories of contractors. You hire a contractor and he's going to do a $250,000 remodel. He's going to remodel your kitchen, your bathrooms, and put all new flooring in your house and new windows. And great. So he gets started. You've given him $30,000. He's demoed the bathrooms. He's demoed the kitchen. Now you're at $75,000, and you've given him maybe even almost $100,000, and he's demoed everything. He's ripped the cabinets all out. He's taken out some of the windows.
Yep.
And he's gone.
That's crazy.
He's gone. And you're texting him, you're calling him, and he's not answering the phone. You paid him for about $20,000 worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
And you've advanced him $100,000, and he's only done $20,000 worth of work.
Yeah.
And you're stuck with a house that's torn apart, kitchen's gone, bathroom's gone, windows are out, and you're sitting there scratching your head going, holy smokes, what do I do now?
Yeah.
So
what do they do? I mean, are they, it's,
call us before that happens.
Right. Yeah. Make sure you have fund control in place.
So what would have happened? Let's just talk about kind of what could have happened had they hired us from the get-go. That contractor has a line item budget that he gives us. That line items out all the different pieces in this construction budget that he's going to get paid for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a cost breakdown, and it shows every line item that he's going to request money for. So when he requests his first bucket of money, so let's just say we're 15 or 30 days in, and he says, all right, I need to be paid $25,000.
Right.
The demo's complete. And that was the line item for demo. We're actually going to send an inspector out there, one of our guys, to go take a look at what's been done and make sure all the demo's complete. And if it hasn't been completed, Max, we're going to cut him back. We're going to say, no, sorry, Mr. Contractor. Your demo's not complete. You've demoed 2 of the 3 bathrooms and half of the kitchen. So we're not going to give you $25,000. We're going to give you $18,000. And once you finish that demo, you can come back to us and request the rest of that money. But until you've done that, we're going to cut you back.
Yep.
So we're guarding against paying him for work that has not been completed.
Gotcha.
And that's the kiss of death in any construction project. You never want to pay for work that hasn't been completed.
Yeah, exactly. So does the contractor have to sign a contract with you about fund control then, or is that just on the homeowner that's like, or is it all parties? Because I would imagine, that would also help weed out the ones that already know that they're not very...
Yes.
On the up and up when it comes to their ethics, right?
Yeah, it's a great question. So generally there's going to be a contract for the construction project between the homeowner and the contractor. And we will have a contract with the homeowner that talks about what our services are going to provide. So that's generally between us because we want the owner to have full control over the money. So we don't want to have the contractor to have any control over the money.
Yeah.
So what we're there is to be the eyes and ears to protect the homeowner.
Right.
So to answer your question and to weave back to that, if a homeowner hires a contractor and then the homeowner lets the contractor know that there's going to be fund control involved, generally speaking, if the contractor is unscrupulous, he's going to go, whoa.
Yeah, hey.
Whoa, no, I don't
that's
like
not
that.
necessary.
I don't need that. That's bad. I'm not going to do it. And if you get that kind of reaction from a contractor, run.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah,
Use a different contractor.
Yep.
Because the transparency, the accountability, the the communication, that's what fund control facilitates. And it shines a light on where the money's going, how it's getting dispersed, and when it's getting dispersed.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That sounds like we need a lot of exposure about this kind of thing because, and especially, we live in California, we're in San Diego, and the real estate market can be volatile out here.
Yes.
And so for agents, it's always great to have a tool in their toolkit.
Yes.
That's like, hey, I want to offer you a piece of advice here.
Yes.
I know about something that can protect you.
Yes.
So, for the agents listening out there, for lenders, absolutely, learn about fund control, get in touch with Marcus if you can. I want to shift just a little bit here and ask you a few things. As a business owner, what I hear from agents a lot, and pretty much anybody that's running a business, is, the one asset you never get back is your time. And there's a million different, there's time blocking and time chunking and to-do lists and all the, working and getting up at 4:30 a.m. and going, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you've been able to successfully build a business up. Yeah. When it comes to time, and I know you have a big family, you guys go do stuff.
We do.
How do you do all of this and, get everything done, and then you still have the time to enjoy life and kids and vacation and all of that?
Work hard, play hard. That's, you work hard when you're working at the business. And secondarily, you have to have a team that you trust and that's good. And so one of the things we've been able to build at La Mesa is a really A-listed team. We have a great team that works for us. We have great people with great mindset, with great experience, that are hard workers. And we're really blessed with these great people that we've been able to surround ourselves with, that are really all rowing in the same direction. And so, it allows me. But we're also family oriented, Max, and we're all put on this earth to live and to serve, and at the end of the day, family is the most important thing about our world, about my world, about our employees' world, and we respect that, and we want them to have a great work-life balance. So surrounding myself with a great team is really key.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely get that sense when I go into the office as well. And there's an energy, just kind of fun, light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But as a leader, I mean, yes, you have a great team, but how do you motivate people to operate at that type of level?
Yeah.
And how do you motivate yourself? Is there any nuggets that have worked for you along the way that have been great for productivity?
Yeah.
Or anything like that? Selfishly, I'm asking.
Yeah. So, not having a safety net, working for yourself, there is no safety net. There's no safety net.
Burn the ships.
Yeah, you got it, man. You burn the ships. You're here to stay. And you know what? If you don't get it done, no one else is going to do it. Set the example. So hard work, setting the example, setting the right atmosphere has been super key. And having good autonomy, within the office, and having people that work together with each other is a really crucial component. I'm always searching though for different ways to keep people motivated.
That's you are a guy that has a learning mindset, which is so important, right?
Yeah.
Because the glass is all the way full, then you can't fit anything else in there.
Yeah. And if you stay stagnant, guess what? You're going to be out of business.
That's it.
Yeah, you got to change. In this world, you have to change. You have to constantly be looking at ways you can be better. How can I improve? And it starts with yourself. You know, what am I doing that I could be better at? And if you don't start with that kind of a mentality, guess what? Your staff's never going to get better.
There it is. Yeah, and you got to lead like that.
You have to.
I mean, the humility. Being humble, right? When people hear the word humility, they think like they got humiliated. Yeah. But actually, it comes from the Latin humus, which just means of the earth.
Yes.
So, one of the things in the morning that I do is, I do some affirmations, and, there's science saying that they work. There's science saying that they don't. I really don't. It doesn't really matter. But one of the biggest ones that I write out is I don't have to be right today. Right? Yeah. Because if I cling to the fact, well, I'm right about this, first of all, just because it's my idea doesn't mean it's a good one. It doesn't mean it's right.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Totally. And if I'm walking around as a business owner and as a leader with an idea that, well, what I say is right, other people are going to, that's going to build resentment.
Oh, 100%.
After a while, right?
100%.
They're going to look at that and be like, geez, this guy doesn't listen to me. I feel like it's always just, get this done. And this is what we're doing. And so, it seems to me that, that learning mindset, which you definitely have, has definitely been an asset.
Yeah. Serving, listening, I think are really, really good components to growing. If you don't listen, you're not going to grow. Mm-hmm. You're just not going to grow unless you listen. So,
yeah. Now, for the agents out there as well, just to hint on marketing a little bit before we end up wrapping this up, I want to tell you, I get videos from Marcus every now and again where it's him opening up a piece of direct mail. Mm-hmm. And he's telling me, hey, Max, check this out. This got through to me. Here's why. And there's these great tips on what works. And he's a C-level guy. He's a business owner. He's busy, to get past the gatekeepers. Yeah. And this is something that any business owner is interested in. But you kind of take the, go an inch wide and a mile deep with people, really cater to them. Mm-hmm. And I think that in this world of mass blast marketing makes you feel, like special, right? Yeah. So it's not just about 1,000 texts and emails, but it's also like, no, like this is for you. Yes. It's specialized. I know about you. I care about you. Yeah. And so, tell me a little bit about why that's so important to be so detailed and meticulous with taking care of people that are either current clients or prospects, and why that works well.
Yeah, I think it's, at the end of the day, Max, it's pretty simple. One of our messages is that your completed project is our success. And so I think that encompasses really kind of a singular thought is, if our clients don't have success, if these projects don't make it to the finish line, guess what? We're not going to have clients. They're not, if their projects blow up, that we've got no client to serve. Yep. So we have to be there to make sure and to help ensure that their projects make it to the finish line and they have success in these construction projects. Whether it's a consumer, whether it's a lender, whether whoever it is, we have to help in that success process. So we're serving. Yep. We're serving.
And so if you keep a servant leader mindset,
yes,
then that is, in my opinion, and tell me if I'm right, but in your experience, that's the way that you create return referrals, like really, raving fans of your business.
You can't fake it. I'm going to tell you something. You can't fake it. People feel it. They know it. Yeah. They know when you have a legitimate concern and you're vested in their success, they feel it. Yeah. And when you're dealing with somebody who's not. I think it's in us. We know when we're dealing with people that really take an interest. And so I think to a large degree, we have a staff that takes interest. I think as a company, we take interest. And I think that our business has really grown organically because of that. People feel it from us.
Yeah. So it's, you got to be authentic. You got to be real. You got to care.
You got to care.
Right. And it's not just about money at the end of the day and getting the deal done.
No. The money will happen. The money will happen if you approach it in that manner first and you're serving first. That'll come. Yeah. That'll come. So
right on. Well, listen, guys, you heard it from Marcus Carter from Mesa Fund Control and Escrow. Agents out there, for God's sakes, use this as a tool. Talk about fund control for your homeowners. Especially like this is a way for you to show what we're talking about here, right? Going the extra mile for them, offering value as a resource that I guarantee you probably no other real estate agent is talking about.
They're not.
And you can learn all about this from, how do people get a hold of you if they want to talk about this? And for, the homeowners out there, if you're renovating, my God, you need to at least, do it or don't do it, but learn about this stuff, right? So how do people get a hold of you? Where can they, what's the best way to do it?
Yeah, I mean, we're all about best practices, but getting a hold of us, we're online, visit our website, lmfce.com, La Mesa Fund Control and Escrow. You call us anytime. We pick up our phone. We talk to people. We're very, very easily accessible. So,
Gotcha.
Call us anytime.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll make sure to drop the links in the description here as well, guys. And, I'm sure I'm going to have Marcus back on the show sometime as we move forward here because there's no doubt a lot of growth in this area. And, you're a guy that I think that any business owner and entrepreneur could definitely glean some value off of. And selfishly, I'm going to do that for myself too. So thank you so much for being here. You guys, if you like this episode, comment, share, like, whatever. And, make sure that your homeowners and any of your clients know about fund control, because otherwise their contractors could be off doing the boats and hose thing when they actually should be finishing the kitchen and, making sure the project gets done on time. Am I right or am I right?
Max, you're 100% right, man. You're 100% right. You're the best. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you guys next week or next month. I don't know yet, but just don't hold it against me. Thanks for being here. And for Elite Zone, we're done for the day. See you later, everybody. Have a great week.